Hello DigiFam, it's Prodigious, and I hope you have been enjoying the kind of content I've been bringing your way with the Digital Gate Tournament. But I've kind of put that on pause right now for just a little brief moment, mainly because we are on the cusp of some new cards being released along with a bunch of reprints from AD01. Now, I've actually spent the last couple of days actually sitting here and play testing some of the new cards for certain decks, just so that way we can kind of get a feel of how the new cards really affect some older decks. So today I bring you one of at least two updated new deck profiles for some Digimon decks that are some favorites of some people out there. So let's get into it. I'm going to bring it up here and we're going to go over it. But the first deck we're going to look at in this little break from the Digital Gate tournaments is going to be EmperorGreymon. Now this is going to be the new hybrid like anime style of the deck. So let's get into it and find out what we got. Alright. So, starting off with EmperorGreymon. Now this one's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You want to just be aggro as much as possible. And thanks to the new Tamer that we got, Tommy, Takuya, and Zoe, triple colored, we can now access our colors a lot faster, and we have all three different Tamers on one card. Now, let's go over it really quick so you can see what this card does. Of course, it plays from security, start your main phase, and on play. You may place up to 2 hybrid trait cards with different colors from your hand or trash under this Tamer. At this effect place, draw 1 card. Then, if there are 4 or more hybrid trait cards under this Tamer, gain 2 memory. It also has the inheritable of end of your turn once per turn. By attacking with this Digimon with the hybrid or 10 warriors trait, it gains security attack plus for the attack. So let that sink in. It's considered to be both Tommy, Zoe, and of course Takuya. It's got an inheritable that can allow you to swing and have security attack plus at the end of your turn. It gives you card draw and it gives you memory. Not to mention, it hits all the color requirements that you need for our handy dandy little option card, Wind to Flame, Ice to Sword. So this is great. Alright, now aside from that, the one other new card we got is a new level 5 in the form of Aldemon. He has Rush. He says specifically that he can evo from a level 4 red for 3, or Takuya Kambara with at least 2 or more hybrid trait cards under it, also for 3. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon. Then it has end of attack and on deletion. You may trash 1 hybrid or 10 warriors trait card from your hand. If this effect trashed, you draw 2, and then you may play 1 red, blue, or green Tamer card with inherited effects from your hand or trash without paying the cost. So that's it. That's all we got in terms of new cards. But these new cards make the deck build just a little bit different now. Now, if you remember my previous video on here, I had probably a lot more copies of certain cards, and I probably had a lot less copies of certain cards. But let's get into it, and you can do the comparisons yourself. So, in my little bit of play testing I've done with this one, you gotta run the Koromon egg, hit that security, get a draw. I'm also running at least 3 copies of the Flamemon from BT6. He has a play cost of 4, no effect other than his inheritable of while this Digimon has hybrid or 10 warriors, it gains piercing. In the previous version, we ran him along with, of course, it is Zephyrmon to try and get that inheritable of piercing because we're going to have high numbers, so we might as well take use of it and try to have piercing. We still run this guy, but I don't think we run him quite as much as we did before. We're running 4 copies of BT17 Flamemon, just our generic searcher. On play, reveal top 3. You can grab both a Tamer and a hybrid or 10 warriors card. And then it has the inheritable of on deletion. You may play a Tamer with inherited effects. Last, to help speed up our plays in terms of some cheeky quick damage on top of our egg, or if we happen to have a heavily costing 5-cost Tamer in our hand that we want to get out there, we're using the new BT21 Flamemon. Main, by suspending this Digimon, you can play 1 red card with inherited effects from your hand without paying the cost. If you did, place this Digimon under that Tamer that was played. So yeah, you kind of sacrifice your egg and your body, but you're getting these high costing Tamers out there. Alright, now next up, you could actually do this part just a little bit different. You could probably run all 3 of this Agunimon, or all 3 of Burning Greymon here from BT17 versus Agunimon from BT21. I had a hard time deciding because they both have good effects, and it is useful to sometimes have that raid, but they're mainly in here just so we have an effect to allow us to digivolve when we swing with them. So Agunimon here is going to allow us, when we digivolve, we can place a hybrid or hero trait card from our hand or trash underneath him, and of course when attacking it can digivolve at a reduced cost by 1. But Burning Greymon here has raid. On top of that, when attacking, you can evo at 1 less cost. So I went for a 2 of Aguni, 1 of Burning Grey. You can mix and match that how you wish, but that's how I'm doing it. Next up, I'm running at least 3 of our human form other spirits in the form of 3 copies of Kumamon and 3 copies of Kazimon, because we need to see that inheritable of while this is underneath something that happens to have a Tamer, if it were to leave the field, we can spit that Tamer back out. So very important. And of course, Kumamon here has when digivolving trash sources, and then when attacking, you can evo at a reduced cost. Kazimon here suspends something when evoing, and then same thing. So yeah, you use that plus the Aguni and Burning package to help you evo rather into your level 5s or into their alternate level 4s here. Alright, now as for the alternate level 4s, we are only running 2 copies of the beast form of Korikakumon. Has jamming, on play when digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn when the Digimon with no Digivolution cards can suspend. Inheritable of jamming, so sometimes the jamming comes in handy. I know my previous build we went kind of heavy using the double colored Penguinmon to kind of give us an extra body that we could evo on top of a rookie to give us more jamming. But I feel like I want to try and step away from that. Plus, it was just needing to compensate more room for the new cards. Going on to the other beast form, we have only 2 copies of Zephyrmon. She has built-in piercing. On play when digivolving, we get plus 3000 DP on one of our Digimon, and of course, inheritable of piercing. So that means between her and our rookie, we have at least 5 different sources that can give us piercing. So we should always have a way of giving something big an inheritable source of piercing. And of course, we're running 4 copies of the brand new Aldemon. And then I'm running just 1 copy of BT7 Aldemon. Now, Someone else might go with a different option, but I like this one because if it's Digivolving on top of something that already has a Tamer, it's going to be reduced by 2. And then the inheritable of, while this Digimon has Hybrid or Tin Warriors in its traits, it doesn't activate security effects on option cards. So, granted, you could go ahead and take this out and try a different Aldemon, but just on that off chance you're up against something that's got some cheeky option cards in it, that's still a good card. Alright, now on to our Megas. We are running a grand total of 4 copies. In my case, I'm running 3 of the regular and then 1 of the alt art of the original BT-18 EmperorGreymon. When Digivolving, for each color in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, trash any one Digivolution card from your opponent's Digimon and suspend one of their Digimon. Then this Digimon may attack. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, it gains Security Attack Plus for the turn and unsuspends. And then I'm running just 2 copies of the promo EmperorGreymon. This guy has blocker. When Digivolving, delete an opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this guy. He also gets plus 1,000 for each color in its Digivolution cards. And then end of your turn, this Digimon unsuspends. So he can swing, and at the end of that turn, he can unsuspend and be a big beefy blocker. Now, hot take in terms of my build and my playtesting. I wish I have gotten video recordings of my playtesting and actually showed this in action for both this and Magna Garurumon. But my hot take, I am running one of each. Susanomon, the original one from BT7, and the Ace. Now the original one, in case you don't remember, it actually says it can Evo on any color level 6 for 7 cost. It also says you can Digivolve this card onto one of your Tamers as if that Tamer was a level 6 by placing 10 Tamer cards or hybrid cards from hand or trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. It has Security Attack plus 2 on top of when Digivolving, just straight up delete an opponent's Digimon. And of course, Susanomon Ace, it is an Ace, so you can blast Evo on top of it if you meet the criteria, which in this case is a level 6 of any color, or if you by chance actually have a Takuya or Koji with at least 10 hybrids underneath it for a cost of 6. That secondary part's a little harder to pull off, but it can happen. When Digivolving when attacking, delete one of your opponent's 1,000 DP or lower Digimon. For each color in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, add 2,000 to this DP deletion effect's maximum. When attacking, by placing up to 5 Tamer cards from this Digimon's Digivolution cards as your bottom security cards, for each one, trash your opponent's top security card. And it also has a handy little rule trait here, unlike the other one, that says it is considered to be a hybrid. Now, the reason why I run these is because there has been some very close, very pinch situations of rather I am about to deck myself out from drawing so many cards, especially thanks to the new Tamer, or I'm in a pinch of where I actually could almost finish the game, but I need to have some more cards put back in my security. With the Lord of Devastation and Rebirth option card that works with Susanomon, it actually says, while you have a hybrid or 10 Warriors trait Digimon, you can ignore this card's color requirements. Main one of your Digimon or Tamers may Digivolve into Susanomon in the hand or trash without paying the cost. You still have to meet the requirements though, so keep that in mind. Then, by placing up to 4 of your Tamers with different colors as one of your Susanomon's bottom Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory for each card placed. So, the reason why this works with both Susanomons, it's mainly meant for, of course, the Ace, but you could actually have a game where you have enough stuff in your hand and trash, you play this option card, just so that way you can Evo for just a little bit cheaper. If you're trying to avoid being decked out, it'll put back that stuff back at the bottom of your deck. You go into this Susanomon, You blow up something if you can, and then you have a body on board that can do at least 2-3 security checks, possibly more if you actually Evo on top of, say, the new triple color Takuya. So, yeah. Then, of course, it's mainly meant for the ace, because I've had games, especially with AD01. I cannot tell you how many times it's been so close with that, but I've had games with AD01 of where I could play that card, and I would have like 3 or 4 Tamers on board that are just sitting there with stuff underneath them, but there's not enough, stuff to Evo on top of them to make full use of them. So what I could do is I could play this option card, have one of my Tamers Evo into this, or even a level 6 that's already out there. But play the option card, soak up all my other Tamers that are just sitting there doing nothing anyway. And then when I swing with this Susanomon, I'm able to recover my security with nothing but Tamers that will come back out and just do their thing all over again. It's very niche, it's very minor in terms of when it does happen, but believe me, if you run this deck like that, you can see the scenarios of where that can pop up and you'll be like, oh, that is so cool. Anyway, on to the last part of the lineup. We're of course running 4 copies of the new triple color Tamer. I was running initially 2, but I decided to bump it up to 3 of Takuya and Koji from BT18. It's our memory fixer, and it's going to help us get some more cheeky attacks in. And I'm running at least 1 copy each of Tommy and Zoe. Now, this is a player preference, so if you want to, you could probably take those out and just stick to the other 5-cost Tamers. But between these two, they both have their good scenarios, like Tommy can help you draw. You can also use Tommy to just pitch something and gain extra memory. But between the two of them, if you had to drop one to try and increase the other, I would probably say drop Tommy and add another Zoe. Because you're going through your deck so much trying to find those additional extra copies of various levels and various hybrids. So being able to trash one hybrid or 10 warriors card to draw one and then get something else in your hand while the other one's in your trash, it works very well. So that has been this deck profile update for the EmperorGreymon Hybrid 2.0, as I call it. So I hope you have enjoyed this kind of content. If you are, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. I'm on a long road to try and get to a higher subscriber count. And I will have some more deck profiles coming here in the future. I've been kind of lackluster on deck profiles just because I've been focused on rather work, or whenever I do have free time, I'm trying to do this Digital Gate tournament segment stuff on my channel lately just for funsies. I am more of a casual player. I do keep my thumb on the pulse in terms of a competitive Digimon, but let's face it, casual is the more fun way to go. But that has been Prodigious, and I hope to see you in the future on some more videos. And don't forget, we still have the Digital Gate tournament. But I will see you in the next one.